You can wield nearly every weapon and cast nearly every spell in Elden Ring without having to spend a single level outside your build, and I don't think people really get how cool that is. You're super encouraged to get creative with your builds, and through talismans, buffs, armor, great runes, and your physic, we're gonna wield nearly everything in the game without leveling here. To meet weapon and spell requirements, there are 5 stats we need to be concerned with: Strength, Dexterity, Intelligence, Faith, and Arcane. And some of those having high ceilings to meet at the top, with Ranni's Dark Moon needing 70 Intelligence and Elden Stars needing 50 Faith. But even a level 1 character with the right build could wield every Strength, Dexterity, and Arcane tool in the game, leaving only a handful of spells out of reach. I'm going to break down how we can maximize your stat boost for each category to show just how far this goes. Each one of these builds starts with the same basic set that'll boost all your stats at once. You activate Godric's Great Rune and the Oath of Vengeance skill from the Grafted Blade Greatsword, which will provide you a plus 10 to all your levels. And to ensure we can wield the Grafted Greatsword, we're going to also use Radigan Sword Seal for a plus 5 to the physical stats, and the Strength Physic tier for an additional plus 10 to Strength. Already we're looking at a plus 25 to Strength, plus 15 to the rest of your physical stats, and plus 10 to your mental stats. The equivalent of 110 levels, and there's still more to gain. We'll start with the Dexterity Pure build just to show the greatest increase we can get. We start with that basic set we had, and then we're going to add on the Okina Mask or Lazuli Crown for a plus 3, the Dexterity Physic tier for a plus 10, and stack the Prosthesis Squares Heirloom and Millicent's Prosthesis Talismans for a plus 5 from each. This build now adds a total of 38 levels to your Dexterity, enough to wield the Hand of Melania, the highest dex weapon in the game, as a level 1 character as any class other than Hero. And even Hero is only 1 level off and can still use every other dex weapon they want to. The Intelligence build also climbs quite high, using the Twin Sage Crown for a plus 6, Intelligence Physic tier for a plus 10, and then both the Stargazer Heirloom and Marika's Source Seal Talismans for another plus 5 from each. It reaches a final boost to Intelligence of 36 levels, and I do not think people realize just how absurd that is. Let's take the Hero class. We're starting Intelligence of 7. With this build, you can cast a legendary sorcery, Stars of Ruin, and other powerhouses like Rykart's Rancor, Night Comet, Glintstone Comet Shard, and Ardula's Moonblade. Of the 70 sorceries in the game, the Hero class only misses out on 8 spells, and if you choose Astrologer, that brings that down to 4. Let me sell this in a bigger way. You could trudge through the lands between as the biggest brick for brains, strength leveling, bonk stick R1 spammer that the Greater Will can possibly conjure up, and still flex on the entirety of Raya Lucaria Academy by casting a spell that literally melted the brain of Lusat, one of its founding sorcerers. Holy shit! Faith is next in line, reaching a final boost of 33 by using either the Great Hood, Halig Tree Knight's Helm, or Imped Corpse for a plus 2, and then the Commoner's Garb for a plus 1, and the Two Finger Heirloom and Marika's Source Seal Talismans for that combination of plus 5 each. Again, with the worst starting faith of 7 on the Prisoner, this build is tossing around high tier spells like Giant's Flame Take Thee, Blessing of the Erd Tree, Scarlet Aeonia, and Placidusax Ruin. This also leaves the Prophet class only 1 level off of Elden Stars, the highest faith spell in the game. Either way, the incantation list is just packed with valuable buffs, and you should never feel like they're out of reach. For the Strength build, we can choose the Haima Glintstone Crown, Omen Smirk Mask, or Fanged Imped for a plus 2, and just the Scar Scourge Talisman, since the basic set will cover the rest. That gets us a plus 32 boost to our strength, and that means you can one-hand every strength weapon in the game, only excluding the Ruin's Greatsword, Giant's Crusher, Prelate's Inferno, and Axe of Godfrey. And you can two-hand all of those easily with it. You should never miss a strength requirement. Finally, the Arcane build uses the Silver Tier Mask for plus 8, and Marika's Source Seal for a plus 5. Reaching only a boost of 23 levels, but this actually meets every Arcane requirement in the game already. That's Eleanor's Poleblade, Rivers of Blood, the Arcane portion of Dragon and Blood Magics, and the Eocade Swords. An Arcane physic tier would be nice in the DLC, but it's honestly not needed. The versatility you can achieve by getting creative with your equipment in this game is just ridiculous. Being able to pull out legendary equipment when you haven't spent a single level in that stat will always feel both silly and incredible to me, and I just love that FromSoft decided to give us so much to play with. Everybody hates that feeling of building a specialized character only to run into some boss that completely counters your damage. And these buff options just kind of eliminate that entirely. Go cast spells as a jock, wield great hammers as a nerd, conjure holy light as a heretic. Just go absolutely wild. Shabriri knows best. Make chaos take the world.